Yo, feel the grind now, the rub against the grain. Every single moment, leaving its own stain. This ain't just living easy, feeling all the strain. Yeah, check the surface now, washing through the rain. See the marks appearing again and again. This the sound of the friction, feeling all the pain.
Walk these streets now, feel the pavement rough. Every interaction, sometimes it gets tough. Words exchanged like sandpaper, never quite enough to smooth away the edges, calling out a bluff. Being perfect, got the lines on my skin now where the stress did bite. Arguments like grinding stones through the day and night, leaving raw emotion, burning cold and bright. Every single lesson, etching into the light. Collisions in the hallway, unintentional shove, but the market leaves behind now, sent from up above. Showing where I yielded, where I stood and strove. A different kind of map now, showing where I've rove through the moments of resistance, the times I had to fight. Building up the layers, putting wrong to right, yeah. The heat is building, feeling something form. Through the rough and tumble, weathering the storm. Recognizing the pattern, keeping the spirit warm. Break the perfect vision, challenging the norm. Friction marks etched so deep, stories that my history will keep. Every rubber lesson, lessons I must read. Yeah, the friction marks while the world's asleep, showing where I've struggled, secrets I must keep. Designing my own pattern from the wounds that we remember. Specific clashes, feel the heat again. Moments of betrayal, causing bitter pain. Words that resonated, falling like the rain, left a permanent impression on my soul and brain. Relationships that wore down like metal over time. Lost a piece of self now, paying a heavy fine for the conflict revolution. Climb the twisted climb, leaving behind the remnants of a silent crime. Every scar a chapter in the book of my life, from the sharpest edges, cutting like a knife, but the form is taking shape now, ending all the strife. A mosaic of experience, showing I survived. It ain't about the smoothness or the polish shine, it's about the strength of the texture, undeniably mine. Yeah, the heat is building, feeling something form. Through the rough and tumble, weathering the storm. Recognizing the pattern, keeping the spirit warm. Break the perfect vision, challenging the norm. Friction marks etched so deep, stories that my history will keep. Every rubber lesson, lessons I must read. Yeah, the friction marks while the world's asleep, showing where I've struggled, secrets I must keep. Designing my own pattern from the wounds that we. Why the friction needed to test the inner core, to see what I was made of, asking for more. Strength, resistance of the outside, knocking at my door, showing me the weak spots never seen before. The pattern that emerges, unique and bold. A map of my own journey, stories to be told, not of perfection, but of grit and gold. A story of resilience, breaking from the mold for the ones who hide now. From the slightest touch, showing that the marks we carry mean so very much. Friction marks etched so deep, stories that my history will keep. Every rubber lesson, lessons I must read. Yeah, the friction marks while the world's asleep, showing where I've struggled, secrets I must keep. Designing my own pattern from the wounds that bleed. So I wear the marks now, visible and true. A part of who I become, me and you. They don't define the future, but they got me through. The challenges are waiting with a clearer view. Understanding the process, the heat and the grind. Left the smooth illusions far, far behind. Found a different kind of beauty, one of a kind. In the pattern of the friction, etched upon my mind. The pain was necessary, the resistance too. It shaped me and informed me, saw the whole thing through. Now the marks are powerful, something I can do with the wisdom they provided for me and for you. This ain't the final draft, now the pattern's still in play. Every new encounter marks the light of day. Friction marks etched so deep, stories that my history will keep. Every rubber lesson, lessons I must read. Yeah, the friction marks while the world's asleep, showing where I've struggled, secrets I must keep. Designing my own pattern from the wounds that we. Yeah, friction marks, the pattern shows. Know where it goes, while the spirit grows. Hear the winds blow. Yeah, everybody knows.